So I will now call upon Mr. Samnyako to introduce Dr. Kennedy.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kwao. Nananum, the Chairman's Delegate, the MPP Atlanta branch, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Kennedy campaign team, to begin with, I'd like to apologize for the lapses in time. I hope that we'll do better next time. But I also like to begin by thanking you for making the time to come here and join us tonight. It is also to let you know that your continuing support will make a change in the lives of millions of people who live in Ghana today. To the fellow members of the Kennedy team, especially the Atlanta Steering Committee, who have worked so hard to make tonight possible, I say thank you. Through your relentless effort, you have made this night possible, and today we have fine citizens of Ghana and a cross-section of people from around the world here tonight. I have here my friend from Nick from Russia, a colleague at work, and Elaine from the United States. And across I can see a lot of people who don't necessarily look like Ghanaians, but are Ghanaians in spirit. We thank you for showing up tonight. In our language, I'll say to you, Akwaba, and what it translates to is that you are welcome. It's our spirit of welcoming our visitors, or people who join us. It is our hope that you walk from tonight's event with a very rich experience, enough to motivate you to visit our country if you are here the first time with Ghanaians for vacation, or to do business, or to live with us. He still wants to help his country. At this time, as I talk to you, he's almost close to literally having a wrench in his hand, ready to close off the tap that brings the income to the family, to set off another journey to help his country. What is you and I going to do with it? What can we do to help? Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce a man I call a friend, a coach, and a visionary leader, and the man that, with your help, will be the next president of Ghana. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you, Sam, for that wonderful introduction. At some point, it almost sounded like an eulogy. I'll say God ain't finished with me yet, so hold on. Is Mr. Frank Asante here? Okay, please, can you come in? Let me begin this on a patriotic note. Mr. Asante is a member of the United States Armed Forces, and he just returned from Hawaii, and he's also a Ghanaian. And he's so committed to issues of Ghana that he wanted to hear me speak so that he could ask me questions and make a judgment. Ladies and gentlemen, for his patriotism, his commitment to service, and for doing what keeps us free, let's give him a hand. Let me thank all of you for taking this evening off to come hear me speak. I'm very flattered by how many of you showed up here, and I hope that we can have a reasonable dialogue. I'd like to thank those who made this evening possible. Sam Nyako, who has given me such a wonderful introduction, Mr. Ade Mensah, Mr. Fiagli Debo, Mr. Nyamfo, Mr. Wadie, Mr. Nim, and Ms. Cindy Ama. I know that I'm going to be thanking my family, but I also want to thank their families for being supportive as they take so many hours away from their wives and children to help me do what is it I'm doing. I also like to thank my wife for her solid support as I try to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it a hand. I once was told about somebody who went to give a speech, and as he kept waiting and waiting for his turn, the room started emptying. And eventually, when he got up to speak, there was only one person sitting there. He says, "Thank you very much for waiting till I speak." And he says, "I'm here because I'm the last speaker." Some, of course, also talked about every successful man having a woman behind them. Actually, the version I heard is a little different. I am told that behind every successful man, even though I'm not successful yet, behind every successful man is a surprise mother-in-law. Now, let me acknowledge our Black American friends who are here. They are very valuable members of our family. And when I start talking about my program, you know that they are a very crucial part of how we can turn Ghana and Africa around. I want to pay tribute to the outstanding contributions of our brethren who were brought here, whose ancestors were brought here in the Middle Passage. They have advanced civilization by making groundbreaking inventions. And without them, civilization would look very different. But even for Africa, without the marches in Birmingham, Selma, places like Orangeburg, the March on Washington, and a lot of other things, the inspiration for the decolonization struggle that made it free probably would never have happened. So let us give them a hand and let us thank them for their here. It is interesting that we should be meeting in Atlanta, Georgia, because there are some people who have called my candidacy unreasonable. Because, as they say, you've lived abroad for 20 years, you are too young, and the reasons why I shouldn't be doing this or I wouldn't succeed keep coming again and again and again. And one of the places where I look for comfort was that in the year 1975, a not very well-known former governor of the state of Georgia started running for president. And the first time he showed up in Iowa to, as it were, test the waters, there were only about 7 people in the room to hear him talk. Before he left for Iowa, however, he called his mother and said, "Mom, I'm running for president." And his mother said, "Jimmy, president of what?" Well, as he told his audience that day, he said, "This campaign will move from Jimmy Who to stop Carter. And when they start trying to stop me, know that they are not trying to stop me, they are trying to stop your dreams." I stand in his proud shoes tonight. I am Akakobna Kennedy, and I'm running for president because I am upset with the state of our country half a century after independence. After all these years, we still have too many of our citizens without work, too many of them who suffer from healthcare, too many of them without the basic necessities of life, that I believe there is the need for a radical effort to turn our country around.